How's it going, everybody? I am Just Dice, and today I'm going to be brewing a Tymna Thrasios variant that does not see a lot of play, and that's a variant that uses the card Chain Stasis as its main win con. So Chain Stasis is a 1 in a blue instant speed instant spell that says, if I can type it, tap or untap target creature. Whenever creature gets tapped or untapped, that creature's controller can pay 2 in the blue to copy the spell, basically. Let me read the actual oracle text. You may tap or untap target creature. Then that creature's controller may pay 2 in the blue. If that player does, they may copy this spell and may choose a new target for the copy. So the idea is that you use that to target stuff like your Bloom Tenders and your Faber Elders, make infinite mana, and then use Thrasios as your outlet. Notably, you need them to tap for 4, and also you don't make infinite blue, so you only make infinite Abzan. So it can be a little bit tricky, but it allows for some instant speed wins, and it's not very played. So it's an interesting space to explore. So go ahead and start with the deck. You want to start with Chain Stasis, and you want to start with Bloom Tender and Vapor Elder, as those are your main win lines. I always like to start. Just go ahead and put in your 29. Well, we'll do 28 4-color deck. 28 lands. I always do wastes because then I know I actually have to change them. We'll do snow-covered wastes because those are cool. Alright, what else goes well with Bloom Tender Vapor? Well, I guess we should figure out the win cons first. Given that we're going for the tap-untap on your big mana dorks, I think Freed from the Real and the Penman's Aura combos make a lot of sense here. Got those two in. And I think we do need... I don't think both of those dorks are going to be enough. So I want more large dorks. So maybe like a Selvala, depending on how big of a creatures we can get. And then Sanctum Weaver is the one I'm thinking of. The Sarah Sanctum on a creature. Now, notably, these are combos that require your creatures to not be summoning sick. So it is a little bit of an issue trying to set these combos up. However, you can play cards like Tyvar and Concordant Crossroads. Make a lot of sense to give your creatures haste or the ability to tap as though they had haste. There we go. Concordant Crossroads. I know a lot of people don't like Concordant Crossroads as it also gives your opponent's creatures haste. As it's a world enchantment and, things like that. All creatures have haste. But I do think for this specific version of the deck, it's probably worth it. I know a lot of people are playing dorks right now and Thrasios decks as well. But I think we abuse it more and are able to break parity on it. Given that we're on Concordant Crossroads, we also want to be on all of the rest of our dorks. At least the ones that color fix. So obviously you got Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch, Avacyn's Pilgrim, and Elves of Deep Shadow. I don't think the mono green elves are probably going to be worth it. I do think Delighted Halfling will be, though. Because giving uncounterable Selvala, uncounterable Tyvar is just going to be really strong. And any green-white deck that gets to play Delighted Halfling, I like to play Cutzel in. Just because uncounterable Grand Abolisher effects are just really strong right now. I guess we should probably have started with the staples, but it'll be fine. We'll do it there. So we have our main game plan. Just play your dorks, get your infinite mana, win the game. Uh, Now, I guess we should probably start having ways to tutor for our actual wins. So, cards like Enlightened Tutor, all your staples, really. I don't think we play Idyllic Tutor for Freed or Pemmons. Mystical Tutor, though, for Chain Stasis is good. Mystical Tutor. Is this a Spellseeker deck? I don't think so. I think this is definitely a Spellseeker in the sideboard kind of deck. At least for now, until we figure out, like if we're on Kitten or things like that. Um, and we need to be able to obviously tutor for our Bloom Tenders and things like that. So things like Finale, Green Suns, I really like in this build because most of our combo creatures are green. Actually, I think all of them are. Your Worldly Tutor, yeah. Finale's nice as it also doubles as a win con. Um, I guess we should also have actual win cons that are good in this color. Thassa's Oracle and with Consult and Tainted Pact. Alright, there we go. We actually have decent win cons now. So we need to think if we're going to run big enough creatures for Zavala to actually work. Because for Zavala, we actually need Zavala to tap for 5. And that means we have to, I don't know what 5 power creatures we're going to be running. So Zavala might actually be taken out. I think I'm gonna move Zavala to the sideboard at least for now, until we see like how big of creatures we're actually running. I guess now we'll just go through and add in your staples, like your Esper Sentinel. Um, 2 drops, Archivist. I really like Archivist right now in the meta currently. A lot of people are tutoring. People are always going to fetch. It's going to draw you cards no matter what. Um, Grand Abolisher always. Kinnon's really good with the Freed combos. It allows your Bloom Tender, or not your Bloom Tender, your birds to tap for Freed mana to win with that. Lotho's always good in these colors. Uh, Personally, I'm not a fan of Bowmasters in decks like this. I don't want to introduce the Bowmasters to be cloned. But I understand it's a good card, that's why it's going in sideboard. But in decks that have a lot of X1s and X2s that I want to keep on the battlefield, Bowmasters being there for somebody to clone is really bad for me. And I choose to avoid the problem altogether. Got your Lothos, got your Sanctum Weaver, got your Thassas, 3 drops. You probably want your Elvish Spirit Guides because everybody likes to go fast. Want your Eternal Witnesses, your Endurances. I guess with Endurance we only want Endurance and not Eternal Witness. We can use Endurance Loops as well. As long as we have any bounce spell in our deck, we can use Endurance Loops as like another win con. Got your Faber Elder. Ranger Captain's a big one. Derevi, Derevi does synergize really well with like the Sanctum Weaver plan. Yeah, so The Derevi plan makes sense, which also makes MEL make sense. And then also if we have the Typhar or the Concordant Crossroads, MEL will just combo with one of our bigger dorks. Uh, which also... Hmm. Priest of Titania would be really good with MEL. And there's a lot of elves running around. The only problem I have with Priest of Titania right now, or at least for this deck, is it doesn't combo like the rest of them. But we could add... There's cards that get around that. It's just a matter of if they're worth running or not. Cards like Umbral Mantle. And so I think putting Priest and Umbral Mantle on the sideboard for now, just to see if they're actually worth playing, or if we have the slots for it, makes sense. Alright, back to staples. Obviously, we're going to be a Seedborn Muse deck. Seedborn Thrasios is such a strong engine right now, and it's just, it'll single-handedly take over a game. I'm really high on High Fate Trickster compared to Valley Floodcaller in a deck that requires creatures to actually win the game. Being able to flash in your Bloom Tender on end step and then untapping with it, being able to tap immediately is huge. And it goes really well with the Seedborn plan as well. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good for our creature package at the moment. Just like as a basic. Just as a base level. Onto our sorceries. Obviously, you need your demonic tutors. Mnemonic Betrayal's good. I don't know if it's needed. It's a good sideboard card. Same with Culling Ritual. Because unlike most of your Brewmaster combos, you don't have a Survival of the Fittest necessarily in this deck as a one-card win con. I guess I don't think so, at least. Diabolic Intent. Yeah, because if you have green, black, you play Survival, activate Survival, get. Yeah, you just don't have the combo pieces like Brewmaster. Like you could do some weird stuff like Eternal Witness, or get Derevi, discard Derevi, get a meal, discard a meal, get Eternal Witness, but then you have to have double white, triple white blue to cast a meal Derevi, and you also have to have the Cradle already out there. It's just not feasible. I feel like I'm missing some sorceries, but we'll check some, we'll figure it out later. As I go through, I'm sure it'll come back to me. Oh, I did Diabolic Intent because the card's good when you have 22 creatures, not counting your command zone. Instance, Pact Indications, a necessity. You gotta have your counter spells. Don't leave home without counter spells if you're playing blue. An offer you can't refuse. Always a good card, especially because TNT, especially versions like this that aren't relying on Devoted Druid combos, you might actually be able to get away with playing like Collector Oof, Stony Silence, Null Rod. So offer gets even better in those situations. Flusterstorm you can't leave home without. Even if the meta's slowing down, your Rog size and things like that, you're still going to be popping off. You want your Flusterstorms. We don't want Entomb. Do we want Dark Ritual? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to be playing Nas, so I don't think Dark Ritual is necessary. Same with Culling the Weak. And like, you already have your Enlightened Tutors, Flusterstorms, got your Mystical. You want your Mental Missteps. If I can figure out how to type. I'm a big miscast enjoyer. I think it's much better than Dispel. Question, I guess, is now miscast versus Spell Pierce. Because there are a lot more uh, artifacts and enchantments being played right now that are most counters, like Survival, Birthing Pod, Basalt, things like that. So I think that's what we're going to have to figure out as well. Um, Meet your swan songs, your silence. You can't leave home without silence. I feel like I'm missing something there. Vamp Tutor. Unconditional black tutors are really good, which makes, that's what I'm missing, Imperial Seal. Having Tymna in the command zone makes Imperial Seal really nice to be able to get what you need. Vamp. I'm a Veil Summer enjoyer. I know most people aren't, but Veil Summer protecting all your creatures and yourself from Bowmasters and things like that is really nice. Um, Cyclonic Rift is a must. You're playing a mid-range value deck. Born Upon a Wind is a must. Being able to win at instant speed is really good. We're going to be playing a Cradle. Crop Rotation is a must. Crop Rotation. Emergence Zone. Really good card with Crop Rotation. Got your Tainted Pact. Force. Your Force cycle's really good here. Force of Negation. Force of Will. I'm putting Force of Vigor in the sideboard just because I really enjoy the card. I just don't know if it's going to make a slot. And your Mind Break Traps. Little light on the instance compared to normal, I think. That's right, we're missing Fierce Guardianship and Deadly Rollick. Commander spells are really good with 2 cheap commanders in the command zone. Sorry, I don't like the weird looking Secret Lair prints. Just give me the basic stuff. Okay, wait, I can actually recognize the card as I look. I feel like I'm missing more instants, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Oh, Abrupt Decay. Card is really good. Oh, back to the sorceries. Neoform. Not Neofrom, Neoform. Neoform and Eldritch Evolution. Both really good cards when you have creature-based combos. Artifacts come before enchantments. Gotta remember that. Obviously, you want your Chrome Mox. Sorry. Chrome Mox, your Mox Diamonds. Your Lotus Petals. Your Soul Ring. Missing something. Mox Amber. Let's see. Mana Vaults. Maybe. It does add with Dreve Kinnan. Probably worth it. I don't think I'm going to be playing Basalt. I'm not a fan of like the Kin and Basalt combos in Thrasios. It's just Basalt's a really bad card by itself. Kind of similar to Emil, but Emil has slightly better upsides with like Flickering Gear Thasas, and it combos with more than just Kinnan. I think we play at least one 2-drop rock. That being Arcane Signet, it's the best. This is definitely a one-ring deck. We're playing Derevi, we're playing Seedborn Muse. Can't leave home without one ring in a deck like this. I think that's a pretty good artifact package. 8 artifacts. It's a little higher than I like for a Collector Oof deck, and I feel like we could probably be fine without it. Alright. Gotta play Heuristics. Gotta play your Mystics. Smothering Tithe is a must. Another reason not to run Collector Oof. I am actually really enjoying Mirror Maid a lot lately. Your Mirror Maids, your copy enchantments, things like that. I think Mirror Maid's probably the best of those. If you can only play one, because it can hit either or. Also, playing things like Mirror Maid increases your Sanctum Weaver count, which is really nice, and something you have to watch if you're going to try and use it as a Chain Stasis piece. Sylvan Library is kind of mid, I think. Got your Ristic, got your Mirror Maid. Copy artifacts. Like, there's not really that many artifacts we wouldn't want to copy other than the One Ring. Definitely there are enchantments though, so I think copy enchantments probably worth it. Although, I think I like Clever Impersonator better in that slot. Being able to like steal your opponent's Kinnins and things like that if you need to. Or, you know, good red cards if they play them. I'm a huge Clever Impersonator enjoyer. I think it's really... Alright, sorry about that. My headphones died. As I was saying, I'm a huge Clever Impersonator enjoyer. I think it's really underplayed in the meta right now. There's always a good target for it to copy. Alright, so that leaves me down to one slot. I want to add one more enchantment, just because of Sanctum Weaver, things like that. Oh, good enchantments in 4-color Sans Red. There's not normally any good black enchantments. I think I could run Blind Obedience. That can be our... It's a good, decent stacks piece. And it doubles as a win con if we're having to go for our endurance loops and things like that. And it goes really well with the Concordant Crossroads, because even if our opponents can take advantage of it, the blind Obedience, it makes them enter tapped anyways. Alright, I think I have... That's just like decent setup. As far as your main deck goes, working on the mana base should be the easy part of this experiment. Because you start with the Ancient Tomb. Can't leave home without it. Card's just too good, and I'm struggling to type for some reason. Obviously, you need all your duels. We'll start from... Let's see if I can do these in alphabetical order. Got your Bayou. Tropical Island. That's not the next one. Savannah's the next one. Scrubland, Tundra, and Underground Sea. You need all your fetches, Arid Mesa, Bloodstained Mire. Once again, can't type. Flooded Strand. Marsh Flats. Misty Rainforest. Polluted Delta. Scalding Tarn. Verdant Catacombs. That is not how you spell verdant at all. I missed the backspace. That's also not how you spell verdant. There we go. Windswept. Windswept Heath and Wooded Foothills. Gaia's Cradle 100%. It's a combo piece. It's really good with Seedborn and Thrasios. Card's just broken. Let's be real. Command Tower. If you're playing more than one color, you should be playing Command Tower. If you're not, you're wrong. Play it. City of Brass. Almost the same as Command Tower. Same with Mana Confluence. Quick check of your symbols. Very blue-green heavy. Breeding Pool. Feel like I'm missing some really good lands. Gemstone Caverns being one of them. Boseiju and Odawara. You have 2 legends in the command zone. They're going to be cheap. 2 more. I really enjoy Tarnished Citadel in 4 or 5 color decks. I know a lot of people don't like that you have to pay 3 life for a color, but in a deck where 4 color, 5 color, you need your colors all the time. So that paying 3 life to have guaranteed mana is really nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. I do feel like 27 lands is probably fine. Because we're playing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana dorks, and 7 artifacts. So Spell Pierce or Miscast is probably the next card in. I think taking that last land slot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of interaction. Yeah, I'm okay with 14, not counting like Boseijus. Although we are on crop rotation. Kind of makes me want to put in Talon Gates. I know it's a 4 color deck though, so Talon Gates is hard to justify. Another really good enchantment for this deck would be Carpet of Flowers, which I definitely think we need to have. Okay, so Carpet's really good. I'm Let's see. Clever Impersonator is my clone. This Creature Suite looks really good. I'm happy with it. Green Sun's Imperial Seal, definitely the weakest of the sorceries. I kind of want more instants. Artifacts look solid. Enchantments look solid. Lands look solid. Don't think any of these make the cuts. So what if we did cut Imperial Seal, cut Green Suns? That frees open a slot for another piece of interaction. Maybe miscast, although we don't really have good. We have Rollick and Abrupt Decay as our creature removal, and we also don't have that bounce spell that I was talking about for the endurance loops. Although I guess Emil functions as our endurance outlet, or as our endurance bounce, so we don't even need the bounce spell for that. Or we could like Neoform the endurance, get it back with finale type stuff. So I think I want to add one more piece of interaction, and I think it's going to actually be Unwanted Remake. Unwanted Remake, while it doesn't exile like Swords and Path do, for 1 minute, instant speed, destroy target creature, its controller manifest dread. So there's actually, you can mess with people's top deck tutors, so if they go to like Enlighten Tutor on your end step before their turn, you then Unwanted Remake one of their creatures, they have to manifest dread that card they just tutored for. Conversely, you can also like, Vamp Tutor on someone's end step, put your Grand Abolisher on top, Unwanted Remake one of your creatures, and then now you just flip your Grand Abolisher face up for white uninteractively. It's a really nice synergy that I've found with a few friends of mine, and I really wanted to find a home for it, and I think this might actually be it. It's already kind of a fringe strategy for TNT, so I think making that sacrifice to maybe catch some people off guard is worth it. Overall, right now, the deck looks pretty solid, and I think I'm going to give it some playtests. So here you got a hand. Only one lands, but you have decent mana acceleration. So you could go, hypothetically, turn 1 Dork, turn 2, assuming no land draws, turn 2 Arcane Signet Dork, turn 3 you got a Kinnan, player Tymna, player, or your Thrasios, whichever you need to do. We should probably see what position we're going. Going third, have a trap. I probably would mulligan this. It's a little bit slower than I like, at least to start. If it had 2 lands and like no Absence Pilgrim, I would 100% keep this, but alright, second 7, you have nothing going on here. This is definitely a mulligan. Going to 6. Once again, kind of like nothing going on. You have your turn 2 Thrasios, turn 3 cut Tymna, turn 4 One Ring. I just don't think it's going to be good enough. Going to 5. This is an interesting 5 here. You have your land Dork. If you draw a land, it's a turn 2 protected win attempt on a mull of 5, and I think you keep it. Honestly, like, I think you bottom Fierce, bottom Vaporo. It's a little bit risky. If you don't draw that land, you get punished really hard, but I think it's probably worth it. Turn 1 Esper kind of helps in the case you don't draw your land on turn 2. So go ahead and fetch. I think you grab Bayou here, actually. So that way you can cast your Noble Hierarch turn 1, and that gives you all your colors. considering you if you draw your breeding pool here, then you kind of don't want to fetch for your tropical islands. Almost every other land you draw here, except scrubland, I think works. Or well, savanna, but alright. Next turn, didn't draw your land. It's okay. You just play your Esper. You'll get there eventually. I always roll like a 4-sided die for an Esper, just to see how many cards I draw on a turn. Draw an Emergent Zone really sucks, but you take what you can get. Turn 3, still no land drop. You're getting punished. Play the Emergent Zone. Play your Tymna. Smack with Esper. I feel like that's your only. You just gotta do something here. Notably, Esper does get the Exalted trigger, so it's probably gonna get through. Draws you Carpet, which could potentially. No. Well, if people have 2 islands, you could go tap the Noble for it next turn. I think second main phase, go for your win, but you have 1 piece of backup. It's turn 4 at that point. You're probably not getting it. Yeah, I think you just got punished really hard on the mulligans there. Alright, we'll go to second hands. What we got here? Going second. Cradle is. This is no. Just a no. Alright, second 7. You have Mermaid. Clever Impersonator. Nothing really going on here either. Going to 6. Let's see. Turn 2. Thrasios? No. 5? At least, okay. 5 you have turn 1 Bloom Tender. Into turn 2 Thrasios. Not the worst hands. Bottom Abrupt Decay, bottom High Fae Trickster. It definitely could be a lot better, but on a mold of 5 you take what you can get. Going second though. Yeah, I think you still, that doesn't change anything here. You still go Boseiju, Mox Diamond, discard Emergent Zone, Bloom Tender. Turn 2, draw another land, that's really nice. Scalding Tarn, fetch. Definitely grab Tundra here? I don't think there's a way we can get both of our commanders out here. Green, green. Yeah, there's not a way we can get both commanders out here. I do think we grab Tundra, though. I think we're slightly more white heavy. I guess I should probably have checked that, but it's fine. We'll just cast your Thrasios. Pass. Hold open a Thrasios activation if you really need it in a fierce. We'll say we actually do have to use the Thrasios activation. We'll keep Aristic Study. Next turn, got another land. Let's go. Activate, or not activate. Well, yes, that is activation, but go get your Underground Sea. Cast your Tymna. Wrong one. Cast your Ristic. We're vibing now. Maybe hit with Thrasios. It is a 1-3. It probably gets through somewhere. Draw a card. Should have done that before you cast the Ristic. Then you could have cast the Esper Sentinel as well. But it's... You live and you learn. Well, this has been... Oh yeah. I gotta do that. Something I always like to do before I... Oh, whoops. I should probably make it not private so I can do this. Settings, unlisted. I always go to Commander Spellbook, find my combos. Paste your Moxfield list. It'll show you, pull up your deck list and it'll show you what combos you're running. and it'll also show you what combos could, like, what combos you can get by adding just one card. So, like, Enter the Infinite Thoughts. We're not adding Enter the Infinite, obviously, but I like to do this sometimes just to make sure, like, there's nothing I'm missing. Like, some just really good one-card win cons. Village Bell Ringer's interesting with a meal. I wish there was a creature that said just, like, tap, bounce target creature. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that makes me want to add it. Are these sorted in any way? I probably should know this. It doesn't look like it, or if it is, it's not telling me. Divining Witch is interesting. It's just like Thassa's Oracle, or not Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation on the legs. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of interesting, especially since we're on 2 haste enablers already. Kind of the same thing with Hermit Druid I saw up here. Yeah, but also the Hermit Druid package isn't very good. So nothing really I'm seeing that I want to add. And the other thing I like to do, we're a Chain Stasis deck. I always like to go see and go look, see if there's anything in the Chain Stasis EDH rec page that makes me want to add it. And like Enduring Vitality, card is broken. It should 100% be in the list. It's also an enchantment for Sanctum Weaver. Probably need to look and see if there's any other of the Enduring cycle that we want to add. Creature you control does combat damage to a player. Draw a card. 4/3 flash. 4. It's not great. Once a turn, draw a card. Creatures with power 2 or less enter. I think I'm going to add both of those to the sideboard just because I think they both could go in the deck. Maybe gain life. No. And vitality, yes. Make sure before I go through this. Told you I was missing something. Deathrite Shaman. I'm... How could I forget you, Deathrite Shaman? The original Planeswalker. Bird, Seaborn, Warlegion, Grand Washer, no Dark Grit. No Oppo, no Draenith. I probably should add at least one of those. Interesting. Downey's pretty decent. Italian. Ignore the red cards. Instance. Oh, Legolas is really good with things with your your untap combos because it untaps you provide the mana, but also split second hexproof is really strong. And I forgot Cord as well. See, I knew I was missing some stuff from the instance. Make sure those are the only 2. Don't want any other untappers. They don't have split seconds. None of these look good. Thousand-Year Elixir. I think Tyvar's just strictly better. Umbral Mantle, I think, is just better than Staff. Lightning Grease is mid. No Swift, yeah. Leyline, nope, can't run it. Training Grounds is probably something I want to be on, considering this is a Thrasios deck. So where are we at right now? Training Grounds. Training Grounds, Chord of Calling, Legolas's Quick Reflexes. See, this is why I look at things like EDH Rec. I know it's definitely more focused towards the casual side, but you still find stuff that you missed and that, you know, should be 100% be in the deck. And now it's the hard part where I gotta find 5 cuts. uh, During Vitality is really strong. I really like this card. I think now we can just safely cut Blind Obedience. I went to the wrong spot. Not cut. Go to sideboard. Well, sideboard. We can just use Swan Song loops if we need to, or Unwanted Remake. If our opponents have a creature, we can make them manifest Dread repeatedly, because it destroys any creature not non-tokens, so we can make them technically mill out their library that way. Born, I think, is a safe cut. It's definitely the most interactable of between Emergent Zone, Born, and High Fate Trickster. So I think I'm okay to cut it, honestly, or at least go to sideboard. Don't want to cut any more of those. Those are good. Probably should cut one of these. White and black are both low colors, but we're also concordant Tyvar deck, so I mean, what are our pips looking like anyways? Definitely more white heavy. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I could probably cut elves. Sideboard goes. This kind of only finds Chain Stasis or a piece of removal. It's kind of mid. Not gonna lie. I guess it also finds all of our tutors, but no, not cutting lands. Not gonna cut any of those. Is it? It's not Mana Vault, Arcane Signet. Turbo Out One Ring is still such a good plan. Turbo Out Smothering Ties, so I can't. I'm not cutting Mana Vault. I think I can get away with cutting Arcane Signet though. Although the more artifacts I cut, the more I want to add in Collector Oof. This is probably wrong, but I'm gonna cut Elvish Spear Guide. I think it's like the added acceleration's nice, but it's far and away I think the worst card left. Yeah, this is where we're at. This is my 100 card deck at the moment. Now I will update this as I playtest it and goldfish it more. But this is where I've ended up, and I'd like to thank all of y'all for watching this. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out. It's just_ice MTG at basically everywhere, and I'll have all my links out on down below. And just thank y'all for coming out.